So on Saturday, Bethesda did a Q&A for Fallout 76 at QuakeCon, and they gave us lots of information, lots of new gameplay. So without further ado, let's get right into what they said and discussed. So Fallout 76 is a big, adventurous world that when you initially start, it is slow burning. It's not go in, all guns blazing, everything is unlocked kind of gameplay. They were also asked, why do Fallout 76 now? Their reply was that initially they were going to do what would have been known as Fallout 4 multiplayer back then for, you guessed it, Fallout 4. They were initially developing this to be a multiplayer component added in after the fact to Fallout 4, or if they could do it within Fallout 4. But as it kind of simmered away, the whole idea of a multiplayer component or online component started during the development of Fallout 4, just on paper, nothing else. And then when it was less hands on deck, Fallout 4 was ending production in Austin. They went back to what was previously discussed, and they decided to kick in to gear what we now know as Fallout 76. Now, as for the whole network part of that, the whole online structure of Fallout 76 is built off Quake 3's network architecture, and Montreal is doing the graphics, and Austin is doing the gameplay and network side of things. And to go along with that, there's always and will always be constant improvements while the game is out and everyone's playing it, and obviously previously they've been testing it internally and things have changed, things have been altered. So then we kind of move along and we get one of our first gameplay sections, which is customization. So like anything else, your customization starts at the very beginning of the game. In this case it starts within Vault 76. You've got full customization on your character like Fallout 4, but with many improvements. I don't remember anyway them specifically saying anything, but you could probably take more hairstyles, more colour in the hair, probably more manipulation of like the eyes, the ears, the nose, the chin, the blow of your cheeks. You kind of get the idea. And then when you're done, you take a photo in the new photo mode, and that photo is for your ID badge, which the feelings I was getting from it is once you've created your character, you take your photo and the image that you take is stuck on some sort of ID badge, whether it be like your icon on the screen when you meet other people, so they know they know the look of the character in front of me matches what's written on the screen with the health bars and whatever. And going into the photo mode, they kind of said that you've got your usual zoom in, zoom out filters, your angles, you've got poses, you've got all that kind of stuff. And also, while using photo mode within Fallout 76, taking pictures of everything you enjoy, they will be used as loading screens. Now, before everyone panics, they reassured us that the loading screens within Fallout 76 are minimum. They are usually in between when you fast travel somewhere, and all the loading screens in between that and possible any other tiny ones that there might be that they never mentioned are everything that you took in-game and saved. Along with that photo mode, there's obviously a social interaction with it. So they said that there's links where you can post it to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. They kind of pulled back onto your character again briefly, where they said that you can change your appearance anytime you want in the game. Because obviously when you initially start, you do it first time, you maybe want to quickly get into the game, have a bit of fun, but then as you move along, you want to adjust the way it looked. You just weren't happy. And along with that, it includes the option to change your character's gender. Then they went into perks. Now, the way perks work is you get 1 point in every special. In each of those specials, you pick a perk within that special. So as an example, you would pick strength, and then within that you have to pick a perk within strength. So in the example they gave, it was gladiator. And with gladiator, it increases your melee of 100 weapons damage by 10% at star level 1. And then as you increase your melee, it rises to 20% at star 2, etc, etc. And you can only get those off perk cards. And there was like a kind of mini observation that I noticed, that while they showed it, it was like they'd completed a challenge. And the challenge they completed was survive until level 4, and once they'd completed it, they seemed to have gotten a pack of perk cards, and from that they then picked their perk that they wish to add to their special. In order to get to the next level, you must have the same cards. So in other words, in order to get gladiator star level 2, you must have 2 times 1-star gladiator cards, combine them, and then once you've combined them, they equal the 2-star gladiator strength card, and etc, etc. There are mutations in the game, as I mentioned at E3, and those are locked to perk cards. So it looks like that not only are mutations really useful, they're obviously a really good role-playing game element, where the ones that you pick, they really do influence the way you are going to play the game and how you span out and build your character. Leveling is infinite in the game. They didn't really say much about, they didn't say, for example, you could go to level 9,000, 10,000, 1 million and beyond. They just said it was infinite, which means I presume there will be an eventual cap on the end of it. I would also presume that, getting from level 1 to 100 ain't going to be as easy as a couple of months grind. It could take way longer, because obviously they're going to want to slow it down for online play. Charisma in the special tree is primarily linked to sharing it with other people in the world. So charisma is more based in the special tree for groups. There is 1 perk card available to add to charisma for people that want to play by themselves, and it is known as the Lone Wanderer perk. They never said what the perk card did and didn't do. They just exactly said that. They just said it was Lone Wanderer. The way leveling works is every 2 levels. You go every 2 levels up between 1 and 10, and every 2 up you also get a perk card, which is like a bonus pack of cards, and it contains 4 cards that you must choose from. And then every 5 levels up from 11 onwards is when you get your card pack of perk cards, which is still the 4 cards, but you just get picked less often effectively. And within every perk pack of cards, there's a joke card and a stick of gum. You can swap out perks any time, so if you weren't happy with the previously mentioned gladiator perk in your strength, you could swap it out because maybe you've saved one from another pack that you had, because it's more applicable to the situation you're in, or you could just change it on the fly because you simply want to change the way your character's built. There are gold cards within the pack, and they completely animate. They're all fancy. You can share perks within your team. Not quite sure how that works, but I would presume if you have, let's say, the gladiator perk in the strength, you could share your card while you're in your group in that one session. You could share that strength card perk with everyone else in your group, because it's applicable, but you can't say share your lone wanderer perk from the charisma tree, I think I said it was, simply because it's no good in a group. It was only meant for yourself because you were playing lone. Points for adding to the special stops at level 50, but as previously mentioned, you can always use and add remove perk cards. So you can carry on with your leveling up on the perk card stuff, but you can't continuously level up your special. Your special caps off at level 50 and then that's it, but you can carry on with your perk cards. The gum within the pack reduces your hunger for a small period of time, so that'll be good to hold on to. And one other note that really wasn't built on, but was mentioned on their Twitter, was these card packs are not any form of loot boxes or anything. They are in-game, they're free, you don't pay for them with real money. It's simply in-game, you hit a level cap, you unlock a pack of cards, you open your pack of cards, you pick your perk to go into your special, and that's it. Next we go into PvP, or as they described it, PvPvE. They went into dying and being killed and people coming after you and everything, so I will cover that now. So when you die at the hands of another person, if you are uninterested in partaking in PvP, you have an option you can select called Ignore that stops PvP for that whole session, so it makes the person disappear, they can't keep poking and prodding you. If I was to take a guess at how it kind of worked, I would presume you hit the ignore button, if that is actually what it's called. It turns you semi-invisible, so when they come near you, they would just phase through you, they can't touch you or whatever, and they obviously can't find you very easily, apparently, because the map is so big and diverse that the chances of them finding you and coming after you again, whether you're still in your ignore state with that person or whether you've deactivated it, is really slim, because the map is so huge there's no chance of them finding you, and if they do, it is simply by chance. There's also a passive flag option that allows you to make bullets go through people, not enemies, just people, so they can't mess you around by jumping in front of your gun and causing issues. So obviously, let's say you're in a group of 4, obviously there's 3 other people you have to take into account, you activate your passive flag option, so when you're shooting at this particular enemy, your bullets aren't sponging off one of your team, and they are just literally going straight ahead, straight through person, hitting your target, and you can just play it as normal without the worry of people dodging in and out of your bullets to either be absolute dicks or to waste your ammo. There's talk of when you, so let's say you're level 10 and you meet someone level 53 but you want to take them on. Todd described it as a power curve where you're pretty much on the same level. So, you know, just because this person's got higher armor and higher level and higher grade weapon, and you've simply got your rank 10 stuff, it doesn't mean you can't beat them. It means you may have to play it slightly differently. So let's just say their health bar might be slightly bigger, but it's not going to be so much of a curve that, oh my god, there's level 53, I'm going this way, they can go that way. They wanted an incentive for you to have, whether you want to take this person down that's higher leveled or not. And the simple level for taking most people down is just caps. But obviously if you take a higher leveled person down, the cap reward is a lot bigger. PvP is not unlocked or available until you've at least reached level 5. Nuking destroys settlement structures, but you can have settlements as blueprints so you don't lose any of your hard work with all the details, furniture, buildings that you've spent hours building. Blueprints also make it easy so you can relocate if you wish. Damaging settlements was put into the game to stop people from imprisoning others. Going back to PvP slightly, they rolled over and said that when you shoot someone, it's not like you shoot them, bang, they're dead. It was described as, it takes a little nick out your bar, and it was described as akin to someone coming up to you and giving you a slap. And then the more they slap you, either you get enraged and decide to partake in the PvP, or you're like, right, I'm not being good into this, goodbye, and off you go. If you did decide to be enraged and go full PvP, that is when full damage occurs. Being a higher level than a lower level person in the game will get you more caps. After you've died, there's a revenge option selectable, which in turn equals double the reward. So if somebody kills you, you're like, right, fair dues, you just got me, but it was a close battle, you can go back to them, you can kill them, and killing them would double the reward. So if that person got 60 caps for killing you, you then kill them, you obviously would get 120 caps instead of the 60. People who kill the whole time in the game become wanted murderers. And becoming a wanted murderer means you get nothing, zilch, no XP level up, no caps, no weapons, no drops, nothing. And they appear as a red star on the map, where everyone will always know where that person roughly is in the proximity, and they've eventually got effectively got a bounty on their head. The bounty, once you've killed the person or the wanted murderer, comes out with their own cap stash. The murderer will never know where the other players in the world are, although you know where they are. Sneak, unless you are wanted, it's always invisible, so you're completely not on the map. You're completely can't be seen the lot unless you're wanted. You know, you can't just go into sneak and you've disappeared. When dying by player or environment, you will always lose something in the game. In this case, they chose to make that something you lose as your junk stash. And they felt it was like a 50-50 because some people wouldn't care about it, some people would. In this case, junk is super valuable. Junk is all and the only thing that you lose. And you kind of don't want to lose your junk if you can help it, because one of the biggest building aspects in the game, like in Fallout 4, is screws. So they're, super hard to come by the sounds of it. They build absolutely everything, probably like adhesive well, and you are going to want to not lose your junk, and if you do, you will have to go back for it if you value it that much. But obviously, before going on missions or whatever, you've decided that you don't want to lose your junk. There are stashes that are placed throughout the wasteland. They are unlocked as you go through the game as well, so there will be plenty of time to do your stashing. You respawn anywhere you unlock in the game. The closest point is free and usually outside Vault 76. Aside from that, you must pay a small cap percentage to spawn somewhere depending on how far away you are from that spawn point. They then started to close it off. Communication is via emotes on the wheel, but if you like to talk, there is headset chat being added now, and that is proximity based. So, it's not just a case of it's just you and Tom that can talk and hear each other. It's also Jane, Sarah, and Roger, because they're in the trees, a mile away. They can also hear it. VATS is in the game. It's initially just, you select VATS, bang, you can shoot. If you want to select body part and be more specific with it, that is locked behind perk cards, which you're obviously going to have to open and place in your perception part of your tree. VATS is also done in real time, and that was pretty much it. They then finished off by saying that all music in the game is by Einan Zur. There's lots of new music tracks that are fully licensed that have been added into the game. They found a lot of really quirky stuff that I think people are going to like, and that fit with a Fallout theme. and private servers are definitely happening for mods, but it's hard to implement it. So it's obviously stable, doesn't break down, people hack into the servers, all that kind of thing. So that is very far down the line, and you know they're going to take quite a while to get that up and running. So that was the roughly 25-minute overview. Try to condense as tight as I could from the Fallout 76 QuakeCon panel. If you reached this far, please like, subscribe, comment, have a chat down below. I will leave the link to the original almost 1 hour segment of QuakeCon on Bethesda's YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.
Country road.